Question 1. I live in Trainer, Iowa in the United States. It's a small town and people are a lot more friendly and chatty than in other places in the US. So you'll frequently come across people who will smile, wave, or nod as they pass by you. And it's only polite to just return that or say hi or hey or something. So that would be one nonverbal cue. Another one is when in conversation, eye contact is very important. Just look at the person you're talking to, and it's often occurring that people, when you're talking, will nod or do a little vocal mm-hmm and or an oh or a yeah throughout the conversation, and that's very commonplace, and that's just a sign to show that you're actively listening. And then another nonverbal kind of code in a conversation is when people are about to leave a conversation or are trying to leave a conversation. Oftentimes they won't say it outright. They will start to make larger gestures towards the door. They'll start moving the conversation where they need to be. They'll look at their phone often, or their watch, or their clock, or wherever the door is at, to try to signal that they're intending on leaving at some point, and they'll often also move their conversation toward the vehicle. For question 2, my favorite TV show is Smiling Friends, and although that the show is very fantastical and has a lot of wild and crazy elements and doesn't often use a lot of human characters, I think it shows, because it's set in the United States, it shows the culture of Americans and the culture of the workplace in America. The dialogue in the show is very naturalistic, and it uses its characters in a fairly accurate sense to kind of develop this workplace where you see many different archetypes that you would probably encounter in your own workplace or have encountered in your own workplace. The characters frequently learn new things about each other as they do the job together. They often recommend things to each other, try stuff out, joke around. Just, it kind of shows the average experience when you're working with other people, and it has a good variety. But it also shows and displays the culture of the US in general, because of what the Smiling Friends do. They go out and they try to make people smile. So it's all about what makes people smile and what is making people upset. So it shows our modern culture, and many episodes frequent like hot button issues, kind of, and just other very prevalent things in our culture. There's episodes that feature or mention Hollywood celebrities and cancellation and cancel culture, the innovation of gaming, where that's kind of headed in the video world. They mention Christianity, which is a thing across cultures, but is very prevalent in the United States as well. They talk about conspiracy theorists, specifically about like aliens and flat Earth and stuff. The shift to healthier foods in fast food restaurants. The United States' fentanyl crisis is mentioned in one of the episodes, just as something to, I don't know, add, I guess. And it features holidays that are often celebrated in an American style, like Christmas and Halloween. And yeah, it really does show a lot of the American culture, not necessarily super accurately, but it's definitely influenced by that. Question 3, when I moved from Omaha to Trainer, I was really excited. I guess I wasn't really that excited. Now that I remember back, I was actually really disappointed that we were moving because I was going to be away from all my friends. But I guess I was anticipating something more interesting than what it was immediately when I got here. So there were some expectations that I had that were certainly wrong, and some that were certainly right. It was during my 8th grade year in middle school. So I was kind of adjusting to just the new people that I was around. And Trainer's a lot smaller than Omaha, so that was a big kind of culture shock for me. When I would go to school, I had classes with a lot of the same people, whereas in Omaha, that was a little rare. You might share 1 or 2 classes, maybe 3 classes with the same people. I think my school that I was going to had, like, 2,000 people total, and it was just a middle school, and the one in Trainer has, like, I don't know, 500 or something. So, uh, yeah, it was a big kind of difference. And then also throughout the town, everybody kind of knew each other, so I had to kind of adapt to that. And as I learned more about people and kind of befriended them and participated in activities, I kind of adjusted and learned who the people were, made friends, and it really was pretty easy to settle into, like, looking back on it. But at the time, it was kind of scary, and I wasn't too happy about it. But there are still people that know who I am, and I don't know them yet because I just haven't interacted with them enough, or I haven't really seen them enough. But yeah, it's been very good, and I'm glad we moved out here. It was just a very jarring kind of shift. Question number 4. I think it's important to keep an open mind as you make a friendship across a culture, because there's a lot of barriers that can happen there. And I think most important right off the bat is what you do connect on and what you can relate to with that person. I think it's more important in any relationship to focus on what you can relate to with the other person and how you can empathize with their situations and how you can just compare yourself, because that's the only lens you have in this world is your own lens. So if you're not comparing and you're not relating to this person, then there's really no way to connect. I mean, there is, but it's much harder, much more difficult. And I think as your friendship progresses, you definitely need to keep an open mind about what they want to share with you from their culture and what you can share with them from your own culture. And I think that's also a very important thing that can help bond two people together as you try to make friends. And that goes for anyone. I think even if you don't come from a different culture, I think it's very important to keep an open mind and focus a lot right at the start on what you relate on before getting into what you disagree on, because what you disagree on often only drives you apart. But once you can find things that you relate to with the other person, you can overcome those disagreements and still respect each other, even though your opinion may differ.